48 Hours. We take you there. Sharon's mother died suddenly. She never got a chance to say goodbye.
You can't fathom how much of a shock that is.
Now this medium says he can bring Sharon messages from her mom. Troy Roberts reports.
The dead can communicate with the living.
Absolutely.
Isn't it everyone's wish to be able to have one last conversation with the person that you love?
You'll watch as Sharon puts him to the test. And this Yale-educated psychiatrist says your problems might have begun in a past life.
There's a lot more to life than meets the eye.
He's about to take Terry back 2,000 years.
Antioch, Syria.
Will it reveal a secret that will cure her fears?
I was shocked.
Plus, why would police call in this former opera singer to help them solve crimes?
I believe she has the gift.
I become the victim. I'm able to see what happened.
Can Annette's psychic visions help the police crack this case?
He's in this area. That's where he is.
Bill Legatuda investigates.
This mound is exactly in the center of the circle that she had drawn on the map.
Exploring the world beyond.
Dial 102, please.
I'm Dan Rather, and this is 48 Hours. How can we explain the unexplainable? Images or events that seem to defy logic, that appear to be outside the limits of known scientific laws. Good evening. Maybe our minds just play tricks on us, or maybe there are some phenomena that conventional science cannot fully explain, such as ESP, premonitions, even past lives. To hear some folks tell it, this house, the Merchant's House Museum in New York City, is haunted to this day by the ghost of Gertrude, who lived to be 93. This was her room, this was her bed. They say she still roams here. Skeptical? Believe me, so are we. But tonight we're going to investigate what the legend of Gertrude represents. The world beyond, a world where science and the mysteries of the mind intersect. You might be surprised to learn how the police and even the CIA have been putting this world to the test for years.
My intentions were always to be a very famous opera singer.
Annette Martin never did make it to the top in her first career, but she has made a name for herself in another, as a psychic.
Oh, I'm able to see what happened. She came here and she walked over in and went to the ladies' room.
She says she's been using her powers to help police solve crimes for more than 20 years by simply holding a photograph of a victim.
I become the victim. I become the assailant. He was over here, leaning against the wall, smoking. And I also become the observer. It's like being in a movie.
One of her specialties is finding missing people, something she says she does by looking at a map of where they were last seen.
I can feel where they're going on the map.
You were determined to find him.
Absolutely determined to find him.
2 years ago, Roberta Hauser was part of a search and rescue team in this state park near Pacifica, California.
How far is it up to the top?
It's about another quarter mile.
Desperately looking for a 71-year-old man who had disappeared from his home.
This was a needle in a haystack.
As a last resort, a local police sergeant contacted Annette Martin, gave her a photograph and a map.
My hand led me down over to where the area was, and I just followed the roads along, and I said, here is where he is, and I circled. He's in this area.
Annette had also made a tape of what she said she was seeing in her mind.
I am definitely seeing something more rugged, more dirt-like.
Roberta went out one final time with a search dog.
The dog led us into this patch of bushes right here, and he was found, as you can see, in this very deep shrubs right here.
The man had died of natural causes.
How close is this spot where the body was found to the dot on the map that Annette Martin drew?
This mound is exactly in the center of the circle that she had drawn on the map.
So she was right on the money.
She was absolutely right on the money.
Annette Martin says she's personally worked with more than a dozen police agencies over the years, helping them investigate crimes. And in fact, one nationwide survey shows that 35% of urban police departments do consult with psychics like her from time to time on cases. But don't expect them to talk about it publicly.
I believe she has the gift.
Rich Keaton is a retired detective from the Marin County Sheriff's Department, which has consulted with Annette in dozens of cases. But even they declined our request for an interview.
If she's so good and has such a good track record, why not brag about it?
It's the unknown, and they can't explain it. And if you can't explain it, then you don't want to deal with it.
Keaton began dealing with Annette Martin in 1975 when she walked into the Sheriff's Department, she said, with a vision of murder.
We were a little skeptical at the beginning, what's this all about? But then she started to tell us specifics that only police officers knew.
A 19-year-old girl had been murdered, her body dumped in a shed at a trailer park. The police were hunting her killer.
I told them that they would find him about a year later.
And it was a year later to the week that, in fact, he was taken into custody.
And they would find him wearing white, and that it was not going to be in California.
He was arrested in the state of Washington.
Was he wearing white?
His occupation was that of a male nurse or orderly in a hospital, and he was wearing all white.
Martin says her psychic visions are real.
Let's walk down here.
At our request, Keaton took her back to the scene of that 1975 crime.
See the metal shed to the rear?
Yeah.
You okay?
Oh, God.
You want to leave?
I can't believe it. It was like, I just saw everything just like in a flash. It was just so overwhelming just to suddenly walk into that field again.
I would strongly put my belief, my integrity, and my background in what Annette does and how she does it.
In fact, Keaton is such a believer, he and Annette Martin are now in business together as a psychic investigative team.
It's a very positive thing.